Racism knows no borders. It is a pervasive issue that affects every corner of the world, regardless of geography or culture. It infects societies across the globe, from the Americas to Asia, Europe to Africa, leaving no nation untouched by its harmful influence. This essay delves into racism worldwide, examining its various manifestations and devastating consequences throughout history and in contemporary times. Racism is deeply ingrained in systems and institutions, perpetuating inequality and injustice in ways that are often subtle yet profoundly damaging. It manifests in disparities in healthcare, education, employment, and housing, affecting the quality of life for countless individuals. The stories we explore are symptomatic of a global crisis demanding our attention and action, highlighting the urgent need for change. By understanding racism's complexities, we can begin to dismantle the structures that perpetuate it and work towards meaningful solutions. This is about shaping a future where every individual is valued and afforded equal opportunity, creating a world where diversity is celebrated and equality is the norm. Beneath Russia's multicultural facade lies a stark reality of discrimination. In Buryatia and Dagestan, ethnic minorities face systemic racism. Buryats experience cultural suppression and economic marginalization. Similarly, in Dagestan, ethnic groups face discrimination by the Russian majority. They are subjected to racial profiling and denied access to quality education and healthcare. The Russian government's policies of assimilation exacerbate these tensions. This discrimination creates fear, hinders social cohesion, and undermines progress. Addressing this racism is crucial for building a more just and equitable Russia. The UAE's opulence often overshadows the plight of stateless individuals known as Bidun. These communities live in the shadows of the country's wealth, unseen and unheard. Denied citizenship, the Bidun live in legal limbo, facing discrimination and exclusion. Their lives are marked by uncertainty and a lack of belonging. Without citizenship, they are denied basic rights and services including healthcare, education, and employment. This lack of access severely hampers their ability to improve their living conditions. This systematic exclusion traps many in a cycle of poverty and despair. The emotional toll on these families is immense, as they struggle to find hope in a seemingly hopeless situation. While the UAE has taken steps to address the Bidun issue, a comprehensive solution remains elusive. Government initiatives have yet to fully resolve the deep-rooted challenges faced by the Bidun. The plight of the Bidun underscores the need for the UAE to ensure all residents enjoy fundamental rights. Activists continue to push for change, advocating for a fair and just system. Addressing this issue is crucial for a just and inclusive society. Only through collective effort and genuine commitment can the UAE hope to create a future where everyone is valued and respected. Sri Lanka bears the scars of a decades-long civil war between the Sinhalese majority and Tamil minority. Tamils have long faced systematic discrimination and marginalization. The civil war exacerbated these tensions, resulting in widespread human rights abuses. While efforts towards reconciliation exist, progress is slow and uneven. Tamils continue to face discrimination in employment, education, and housing. Healing requires a genuine commitment to addressing the root causes of the conflict and ensuring equal rights for all citizens. In El Salvador, Afro-descendant and indigenous communities face systemic discrimination. These communities bear the brunt of poverty, inequality, and violence. Afro-Salvadorans face racism and exclusion, limiting their access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. Indigenous communities struggle to preserve their languages, traditions, and land rights. Addressing this injustice requires tackling both historical legacies and present-day discrimination. This includes implementing affirmative action policies and promoting cultural diversity. Ensuring equal access to land, resources, and opportunities is crucial for all Salvadorans. The Rohingya, a Muslim minority in Myanmar, face decades of persecution. This persecution has escalated into a humanitarian crisis, with many fleeing violence. The Rohingya are denied citizenship and basic rights, living in constant fear. In 2017, the Myanmar military's brutal crackdown led to widespread atrocities. The UN describes these actions as ethnic cleansing. The Rohingya crisis demands a concerted international response to hold perpetrators accountable. A lasting solution must guarantee the safety and dignity of the Rohingya people. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is fueled by deep-seated mistrust and discrimination. Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza face restrictions and military reactions due to the regular attacks to Israel with rockets or missiles and suicide attacks. Israeli settlement policies fragment Palestinian territory and create daily challenges. The Gaza blockade has created a dire humanitarian crisis. Achieving peace requires addressing the root causes of the conflict and promoting equality. A commitment to dialogue and compromise is essential for a just and lasting peace. The U.S. grapples with its legacy of racism and racial injustice, a deeply rooted issue that has shaped the nation's history and continues to affect its present. The killing of George Floyd in 2020 sparked nationwide protests and ignited a global reckoning on race, bringing millions to the streets in solidarity. Systemic racism pervades American institutions, from law enforcement to healthcare, affecting the lives of African Americans and other minorities on a daily basis. While progress has been made over the decades, racial disparities persist in many areas, including education, employment, and housing. Addressing systemic racism requires a fundamental transformation of society, involving policy changes, community engagement, and a commitment to equality. This includes confronting the country's history of racism, acknowledging past wrongs, and dismantling discriminatory policies that still exist today. The struggle for racial justice in America is intrinsically linked to the global fight against racism, as people around the world stand in solidarity. By confronting its own demons and striving for change, the U.S. can set an example and promote equality and justice on a global scale, inspiring other nations to follow suit. The Roma people face widespread discrimination and exclusion across Europe. In Serbia, Roma communities live in impoverished settlements with inadequate housing. They face discrimination in employment, education, and healthcare. Unemployment rates among Roma are high, and those who work face exploitation. Roma children are often segregated into under-resourced schools. Addressing prejudice requires promoting inclusive education and creating employment opportunities. Combating hate speech and discrimination is essential for Roma inclusion. Iran's diversity is overshadowed by the dominance of Persian language and Shia Islam. Ethnic minorities face cultural and linguistic suppression. Religious minorities face discrimination and persecution. The Iranian government's policies of assimilation exacerbate tensions. Creating an inclusive Iran requires recognizing the rights of all citizens. Promoting cultural and religious diversity is essential. Ensuring equal access to education and employment is crucial for all Iranians. Saudi Arabia grapples with challenges posed by a large population of non-citizens. The kafala system ties foreign workers to their sponsors, creating conditions for abuse. Workers are legally bound to their sponsors, who control their lives. This system leaves many vulnerable to exploitation and forced labor. While reforms have been made, significant challenges remain. Addressing the plight of non-citizens requires abolishing the kafala system. Ensuring equal protection under the law for all workers is essential. Qatar's construction boom has come at a high cost for migrant workers. Workers face abuses, including passport confiscation and wage theft. The intense heat and lack of safety measures have resulted in numerous deaths. While reforms have been made, enforcement of labor laws remains weak. Ensuring the rights of migrant workers requires a comprehensive effort. Strengthening labor laws and improving enforcement mechanisms are crucial. Holding companies accountable for abuses is essential for worker protection. Racism is a lived reality for millions, shaping lives and denying rights. The struggle against racism is a fight for equality, dignity, and justice. We must challenge racism in all its forms and dismantle structures of inequality. Amplifying marginalized voices and creating equal opportunities is essential. Racism undermines social cohesion and hinders progress. It is a stain on our collective humanity, and we must eradicate it. The journey towards a world free from racism is long but necessary. Let us pledge to stand against discrimination and work for a just world.